Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm a boudoir photographer and I work with a lot of brides. A lot. And I'm typically working with them when they're nearing the end of wedding planning and their stress levels are like up to here. As a boudoir photographer, I've done a lot of research into self-care and I know how important and vital it is for our mental health and our wellness in general. Plus, I've also gone through wedding planning myself and I know firsthand how freaking stressful it can be. So let's talk a little bit about how to manage that stress and how to take care of ourselves while planning a wedding. So my first tip would be to take breaks from wedding talk. It's really easy to get so bogged down by constantly discussing it because everybody wants to know, how's wedding planning going? Did you get your dress yet? How are alterations? What caterer did you pick? The list goes on and on. Everybody wants to know and they think they're being nice by asking, but I found it to be very overwhelming at a point where it's like, oh, this is all I'm allowed to talk about. So I would make a point to discuss other things, bring up other hobbies or topics, and even let people know when you're getting together with them that hey, I would love it if we could just take a break from wedding talk today because I need to give my brain a break. You got to step away from it. Sometimes that's really, really important. So do fun things, set some boundaries, let people know you don't want to discuss it, and just give yourself a break from talking about it all of the time. All right, my second self-care tip for brides, you guys got to be delegating tasks. You do not have to do all of the things. You've got friends and you got family who want to help. Take advantage of them. I leaned on my sister when I was getting married. I leaned on my friends. I know it feels like you have to be the one to do everything or it won't turn out perfectly, but I promise you're going to feel so much better if you just delegate some of the tasks. If you maybe don't have a support system who will help you out with things like that, you could also think about hiring a day of coordinator if you don't have one. They will be the person then to take on the whole day of tasks, and anybody who needs a touch point can reach out to the day of coordinator and not you. So if you haven't yet, start delegating some of your tasks. And on your wedding day, you should not be the main point of contact, okay? That is somebody else's job. Maid of honor, mom, someone else. It should not be you. I promise your brain will thank you for it. Self-care tip number 3 for my brides, get outside. Go be in the grass, out in the woods, head to the lake. I find nature to be extremely healing, and I got married in December, so it was chilly, and we still spent time outside. I loved going for walks. Something about just reconnecting with nature makes everything feel so much better. And if you are like, oh my gosh, I am at my wit's end, I'm so stressed out, I don't know if I can keep doing all of this, get into nature. There's a little bit of a cliche around, mental health walks. Well, guess what? They're a cliche because they actually work. That's right, mental health walks actually work. So make sure that you're taking them on a regular basis, okay? Being around trees and stones and rivers and lakes and all of that good stuff, man, it really is so healing for the soul. And if you're feeling very overwhelmed right now, go take a breather, take a walk, get outside. All right, tip number 4. You need to make sure you are eating and sleeping enough. I've been there, okay? Back when I was wedding planning, sleep did not come easy. I don't sleep well when I'm stressed. So that was causing some issues. And then, of course, I had, nights where I wanted to pull the all-nighter Pinterest, activities where I was like, I gotta get all this crafting done. I gotta get all this making done. It's not good for your brain. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your soul. You have to make sure you're sleeping enough. So get your 8 hours, okay? And set yourself up for success. If you know you're going to be the kind of person who wants to pull an all-nighter or stay up till, 1 in the morning, you got to put a plan in place so that you do get to bed at a reasonable time. Shut off your phone or take a nice hot bath right before bed, something to make you sleepy. It requires some planning, but it's going to be worth it. So really, really make sure that you're getting enough sleep, and make sure you're eating enough too, because I know when I get stressed, the temptation to skip a meal, it's definitely there. I'm not super hungry when I'm stressed out, and I wasn't when I was planning my wedding, but again, your body needs food to function at its best. And if you're really stressed, let's help out your body as best we can and give it all of the nutrients and fuel that it possibly needs so we can try to function at our best. So make sure you're eating, okay? And again, I get it. Cooking when you're stressed out and when you have like a million things on your to-do list, not something you want to do. So I don't think there's anything wrong with leaning on convenience meals. There's nothing wrong with maybe meal prepping on a Sunday and then eating the same thing for the whole week. If that's what it takes so that you eat your food, fully support that. Ask, again, delegate maybe. See if you've got some friends who could come over and meal prep with you. There are a lot of ways you can make your life easier so that you are eating even on days when you're so freaking stressed out. So just plan a little bit in advance. Maybe if you're not like in the absolute midst of wedding planning right now, maybe you got a couple months out, make some freezer meals, prep a bunch of soup ahead of time. I promise that stuff is going to really come in clutch when you are in that last month or two. Okay, Bosco agrees. He thinks you've got to be taking care of yourself. And he actually gave me the final tip, which is to spend time with your partner. Go on a date with the love of your life. It's so easy to get like really bogged down with all of the details that all of a sudden you're kind of like missing the whole point of why you're even getting married. Like, you found your person. And that's so cool, isn't it, Bosco? It's so cool that you found your person. But when there's a million things to do on your to-do list, you kind of forget like what the whole point is. So take some time, go on a date, do something fun with the love of your life, and remember that the whole point of the wedding is to celebrate the connection and the love that you two have. And if something goes amok, if something goes awry, it's going to be okay because you're still marrying that person, right? So create that connection. I think self-care, sometimes we get really bogged down in the idea that we have to entirely rely on ourselves, but self-care and community care are like this. So rely on your person, go on a date, have some fun, connect with each other, and remember what all of this is even for and even about, okay? I know you're gonna have a beautiful wedding. It's all gonna work out in the end. I hope it is as stress-free as possible, and I hope that there were a few self-care tips in here that you can take with you in the final stages of planning to get you through to the end. If you found this video helpful, I would love it if you were to like and subscribe. I post all kinds of self-care videos, photography videos, good stuff like that. And I just, it would mean a lot if you liked and subscribed. Otherwise, I will see you all here again next Saturday with more education. Happy wedding planning.